Hello, in this demo, what I'd like to do is discuss the Gatsby Script Component, which is the new built-in React component into Gatsby that you can use to performantly load third-party scripts or your own scripts on your site. And what's neat about the Gatsby Script Component is that it offers you a way to declare different loading strategies, which we'll discuss throughout this demo. And also, if you would like to not declare any loading strategy and have Gatsby select a performant option for you out of the box. And so in this demo, what I'd like to do is take a brief look at the documentation here, and then we'll jump into an example project to see how to use it in your source code. And then finally, we'll take a look at a visualization to see what the script component is actually doing. So without further ado, this is the reference documentation, which you can find on gatsbyjs.com. And anything that's not in this demo, you probably will be able to find here. So how do you use the script component? What you can do is you can import the script from Gatsby here, and then give it a source, or use an inline script, which we can discuss in a little while, but it's that simple. And if you have existing scripts, what you can do is import script from Gatsby and then change your lowercase script tag to an uppercase script component. We've made this deliberately as easy as possible. And if you don't declare a loading strategy, this will load your example script after hydration, which we'll discuss in a minute. So let's take a brief look at the different strategies. So there are three strategies. Post-hydrate, which is the default, means that the script that you're trying to load will happen after hydration. So after React has hydrated your site, meaning everything is interactive and the loading of your script doesn't interfere with that hydration process. Next is idle, which is similar to post-hydrate in that it happens after hydration. But the difference is this tells the browser, I want you to wait until the main thread is not doing any crucial work, and then I'll load your script. So if you have a page that has a lot of other things happening, like DOM manipulations, then idle can be a good use case for a script that you don't want to interfere with that. Finally is off main thread, which is an experimental strategy that uses Partytown to load your script in a web worker so that the main thread no longer is concerned with the loading of your script. And this is useful because your main thread is what is doing all of your visual things on your site, and you don't want that to be interfered with by an analytics script, for example. So now that we've looked at these, let's jump into the project here. And this is an example project which you can find in the Gatsby monorepo using Gatsby script. And so we've done the same thing that we've done in the reference documentation. We've imported script from Gatsby, and we've defined some scripts here. We have 3, jQuery, and marked, and I have them up here. These are URLs. So one interesting thing that I'll mention briefly is that you can also use the script strategy enum if you would like, instead of defining the strategy as a string literal. So what you do, we need to import it first. We'll import it from Gatsby. And then we can select the ones that we want. So in our case, post-hydrate is what we want. And this is a convenience thing that you can use if you're using TypeScript, also available on JavaScript if you like, but it works both ways. So you can declare a strategy. You can also declare your script, your source. And there are also these optional onload and on-error callbacks. So onload, when your script is finished loading, onload will be fired. And if your script has an error, for example, it 404s, then on-error will be called. So these are very useful in cases like dependent script loading. So imagine a case where you want to load one script after the first script has finished. So that's what we have here. We're using onload to say, after my first local script has finished loading, set loaded, which is React state here. And then, lost it for a second. And then once it's loaded, load my second one. And we'll see this in a little bit visualized. So other than scripts that have URLs, you can also load inline scripts. And there are two ways you can do this. You can load it with template literals, which look like this. and also with dangerously set inner HTML, which is a React convention that looks like this. The script component treats these two cases exactly the same, so it's really a matter of your choice. So now that we've had a look at this, why don't we take a look at the dev tools of our example site? So this is the exact same site that I have deployed to Gatsby Cloud so that we can have a look at using Chrome DevTools Performance tab. We'll be able to see the profile and the network waterfall of these scripts loading. So here is our document, and then here is the framework bundle. So this includes React, and this is where hydration is going to happen. You can see it, if you like, in the call stack down here. But this is important because we want to see our scripts load after this hydration. So we can see 3JS, which is our post-hydrate script, is being loaded definitely after hydration. And also our idle script, which is jQuery. The reason why there's not much difference between these two is because on this site, there's not much else happening on the main thread. So they load pretty similarly. And we can see our dependent scripts loaded here. My local script is finished loading here, and my local script 2 loads afterwards. So that's pretty neat. And finally, we have our off main thread script, which also initializes the Partytown service worker, which I won't go into detail here first. And then we will request marked, which is our off main thread script here. And this is not happening on the main thread, so we don't have to worry about it interfering with what else is happening on the main thread this early in the loading process. So yeah, this has been a quick demo of what this Gatsby script component is and how it can be used. Again, anything that's not in this demo, you can probably find in the reference documentation here. And yeah, thank you for joining me for this.